Hey everyone, do you want to know 3 wild and crazy items that I always travel with? Yeah, I know you do. And one is from the kitchen, and one is from the garage, and one is from the camp store. Yeah, okay, you're super curious, right? Well, let me tell you about them. First of all, I never travel without these little guys. These are clothespins. These are the things that you use to hang up your laundry if you live in 1875, or if you're like me and you like to have that fresh, clean scent. I travel with these for all sorts of reasons, but the number one reason I use them is to close the curtains in the hotel room. How many times have you been staying in a hotel and those curtains, even when they've got like the light blocking fabric in the back, they just don't overlap properly. And there's that little sliver of light that gets through and it just keeps you up and drives you insane. Highly annoying. And you can try taping it, but tape doesn't always work with fabric. So that's why I came up with these. I just take the edges of the curtains, I fold one over the other, pinch, pinch, done and done. I was actually at a Marriott that actually had provided a plastic version of this solution. So, it's clearly a problem that lots of people have. But go ahead and throw these in your bag. But by having these, you don't just have to use them for the curtains. You can use them to, as I mentioned before, hang up laundry to dry in the bathroom. You can use them to seal up chips on a road trip. Not that I do that, or maybe I do. I do like a hot and spicy Cheeto. So anyway, you never know what you're going to need these for. Throw a couple in your bag. The second one that I mentioned is from the garage, is a trash bag. Now you will notice that this is an extra thin little flimsy trash bag, but this is exactly the kind that I like. I've mentioned in other videos that I'm always looking to keep the weight down in my bag because I'm almost always traveling carry-on. So a little tiny guy like this, not only does it weigh nothing, it also takes up no space whatsoever, but they're super durable. So you can use them for all sorts of things. I mean, you can use them to quarantine a wet bathing suit. You can use them to put dirty shoes in that you're going to shove in with your clothes. You can actually even twist it and use it as cording, which you could use maybe with a clothespin if you're going to do some little laundry action in the bathroom. So never know where you're going to need a bag. Highly recommend you get just a couple of these little thin guys and shove them in your suitcase. The last thing I mentioned was a camping store item, and I know this is going to be a little bit strange for some of you. Headlamp. I cannot tell you how handy these things are. Just living your life day to day on a trip. We're not even talking necessarily about an emergency situation. Just having a headlamp handy. There are so many times I find myself needing light and also needing my hands at the same time. 2 years ago, we were on a houseboating excursion with a bunch of our friends, and some of the people showed up at the dock super late before we actually left. We were waiting for them. And in order to help them move their gear from their car down to the dock, we needed light, but we also needed hands to carry. So, who had a headlamp? It was very handy. But they're also great to have around for getting around a hotel room in the dark if you don't want to wake your partner, your significant other. They're great in case there's an emergency. Keep this next to you on the nightstand. You can evacuate quickly and you'll see what's going on. Again, just one of those things you never know if you're going to need. So highly recommended. So that's, I think, everything I'm going to share with you today. If you watch this far, you're seriously interested in travel and safety. So you might want to pop over to a site where you can sign up for my newsletter. I send a newsletter out about once a week with extra safety tips, personal anecdotes. They're a lot of fun to write, and I get really good responses, so I think you will enjoy reading it too. You can find the newsletter sign up at kathleenstarmer.com/join-the-tribe, and it's join-the-tribe. I'll go ahead and put the link in the notes underneath this video after I get it all archived on Facebook. So I think that's everything for today. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and share this if you appreciated it and thought there was some value to it. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.